Here to start us off at Terminal 1 East, we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Austin, Texas as Flight 955. Following that, we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. Again, he's going to be heading out to Boise, Idaho as Flight 2134. Right here, continuing with the Southwests, we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 heading out to Baltimore, Maryland as Flight 1274. And here, following that, we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Albuquerque, New Mexico as Flight 564. Here we have our first international departure. We have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to San Jose del Cabo, Mexico as Flight 1213. Here, lastly, for Terminal 1 East, we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Chicago, Illinois as Flight 1875. Like I said, that does wrap up Terminal 1 East. Terminal 1 East has 6 gates and serves only Southwest Airlines. It used to have 11 gates, but 5 of them were removed due to construction on the expansion of Terminal 1. So next we'll move on to Terminal 1 West. Here, starting off Terminal 1 West, we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Dallas, Texas as Flight 3704. And right next to that is a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Denver, Colorado as Flight 339. And here we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to El Paso, Texas as Flight 645. And here we have another Texas departure. We have a Southwest Airlines 737-800 operating Flight 1346 to Houston, Texas. And right next to that, wrapping up the Southwest hub, we have a Southwest Airlines 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Kansas City as Flight 382. Right here we have our 5th Texas departure. We have a Frontier Airlines Airbus A321. He's going to be operating Flight 1425 to Dallas, Texas. So on the bottom there, on the bottom of your screen, we have a Frontier Airlines Airbus A321. He's going to be heading out to Las Vegas, Nevada as Flight 1465. And on the top there, we have a Spirit Airlines Airbus A320. He's going to be heading out to Oakland, California as Flight 743. Now that does wrap up Terminal 1. So Terminal 1 West, which is the terminal we just covered now, has 8 gates and serves Southwest, Frontier, Spirit, and Sun Country. Next we'll move on to Terminal 2 East. So here, starting off Terminal 2 East, we have an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Boston, Massachusetts as Flight 390. And right next to that, we have an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Fort Lauderdale, Florida as Flight 354. And right here, we have an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Honolulu, Hawaii as Flight 895. And here we have an Alaska Airlines 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Maui, Hawaii as Flight 829. And right here we have an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be operating Flight 297 to Newark, New Jersey. And this next Alaska Airlines 737-800 is going to be heading out to Portland, Oregon as Flight 1245. And here we have an Alaska Airlines 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Seattle, Washington as Flight 1997. And here, wrapping up the Alaska hub here at San Diego, we have a Boeing 737-800 operating Flight 432 to Tampa, Florida. Now that, like I said, that does wrap up the Alaska Airlines hub here at San Diego. Next, we're going to move on to American Airlines. Now the only type of American Airlines plane I have is the Boeing 777. So we will see all 777s today, and that is pretty unrealistic because the most common American Airlines plane here at San Diego is like the A321. They use them to Dallas, Charlotte, Phoenix, Chicago, and etc. So yeah, we will be seeing all 777s today, which is not really that realistic, but that's all I have. So here, starting off the American Airlines section, we have an American Airlines Boeing 777-200. He's going to be heading out to Miami, Florida as flight 2534. And the next American Airlines 777 is going to be heading out to Dallas, Texas as flight 1243. And the next American 777-200 is going to be heading out to Chicago, Illinois as flight 1543. And here, wrapping up the American Airlines section, we have an American Airlines Boeing 777-200. He's going to be heading out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania as flight 1621. Yeah, that does wrap up the American Airlines section here at Terminal 2 East. Next, we'll move on to Allegiant Air. Here we have an American Airlines Boeing 777-200. This aircraft's going to be headed out to Charlotte, North Carolina as flight 1651. Now that does conclude Terminal 2 East. Yeah, Terminal 2 East. So we're going to start off Terminal 2 West. Right here to give us a great start into Terminal 2 West, we have a JetBlue Airways Airbus A320. He's going to be heading out to New York, JFK as flight 189. And here following that, we've got another JetBlue Airbus A320. He's going to be heading out to Fort Lauderdale, Florida as flight 6529. And right here we have a beautiful Hawaiian Airlines Airbus A330-200. He's going to be heading out to Honolulu, Hawaii as flight 15. And here, starting off the Delta Airlines section, this is the first Delta Airlines section out of two of them. We have a Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Salt Lake City, Utah as flight 1668. And here we have another Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Seattle, Washington as flight 2183. Next up, wrapping up the first Delta section, we have a Delta Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Atlanta, Georgia as flight 725. And here, starting off the United Airlines section, we have a United Boeing 757-200. He's going to be heading out to Newark, New Jersey as flight 1827. Right next to that is another United Boeing 757-200. He's going to be heading out to Chicago, Illinois as flight 2325. And here we have another United Airlines Boeing 757-200. This one's going to be heading out to San Francisco, California as flight 1762. And here we have the gorgeous United Boeing 787-9. He's going to be heading out to Washington Dulles as flight 2221. Now this flight to Washington Dulles is actually operated by the 777-200, but I do not have that aircraft, so here's the 787-9. And here, back to the United narrow bodies, we have a United Airlines Boeing 757-200. He's going to be heading out to Denver, Colorado as flight 489. And right here, wrapping up the United Airlines section, we have a United Boeing 757-200. He's going to be heading out to Houston, Texas as flight 1478. Like I said, that does wrap up the United Airlines section. Next, we'll move on to the second Delta Airlines section. Here, starting off the second Delta Airlines section, we have a Delta Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Minneapolis, Minnesota as flight 710. And here, wrapping up the Delta Airlines section, we have a Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Boston, Massachusetts as flight 486. Like I said, that does wrap up the second Delta Airlines section. Next, we'll start off the international departures. So here, starting off the international departures, we have a WestJet Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Calgary, Canada as flight 1564. And following that, we have a Japan Airlines Boeing 787-8. He's going to be heading out to Tokyo, Japan as flight 65. And on the top of your screen there, we have an Air Canada Boeing 777-200LR. He's going to be heading out to Toronto, Canada as flight 1034. And on the bottom of your screen, we have a British Airways Boeing 787-8. He's going to be heading out to London, England as flight 272. Now that does wrap up Terminal 2 West. Terminal 2 West has 18 gates and serves JetBlue, Hawaiian Airlines, Delta, United, WestJet, Air Canada, Japan Airlines, British Airways, Lufthansa, and all of the Alaska Airlines international departures. Next, we'll move on to the cargo terminal. And here, starting off the cargo terminal at San Diego, we have a UPS Worldwide Services Boeing 747-400 freighter. He's going to be heading out to Louisville, Kentucky as flight 2921. Now, the flights from San Diego to Louisville are not operated by the 747. They are operated by the 767-300, but I do not have that. So here it's a 747 operating that flight. Here, starting off the FedEx section, we have a FedEx Boeing 767-300. He's going to be heading out to Indianapolis, Indiana as flight 1654. Now, I know this is a 777, but it is close enough to a 767, so I'm using it as a 767. The next FedEx 767-300 is going to be heading out to Memphis, Tennessee as flight 1222. And here, wrapping up the cargo section, we have a FedEx 767-300. He's going to be heading out to Oakland, California as flight 1839. Like I said, that does wrap up the FedEx section. Next up, we'll move on to other arrivals and departures spread out around the airfield. So here, taxiing to runway 27, we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Las Vegas, Nevada as flight 594. And right here, just touched down, taxiing to its gate at Terminal 1. We have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800. He's just arrived from St. Louis, Missouri as flight 1105. And later on, we'll be heading to Salt Lake City, Utah as flight 1049. And here, making a beautiful arrival into San Diego, we have a Lufthansa Airbus A350-900. He's arriving in from Munich, Germany as flight 466, and will be heading back to Munich as flight 467. That does wrap up today's airport update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.